despite the short invitation. Okay, we didn't have much time, but thank you for being here. Alam ko rin po busy ang lahat, and now pa lang tayo bumabalik sa quote-unquote normal, or probably this is the new normal. So excited tayo lahat na magkita-kita, and we really appreciate po your presence. So yeah, what is SEABCS? Okay. The Southeast Asia Breast Cancer Symposium is a gathering of the region's cancer survivors, patient advocates, health professionals, researchers, and policymakers in an event to exchange ideas and share successful strategies, the latest in breast cancer, as well as the many challenges that face the breast cancer community on a personal, local, and national, regional, and international level. So most of the time when it comes to breast cancer symposiums, it's either all patients and then organized by the patients, or sometimes all doctors, walang patient, all doctors naman. Itong SEABCS, the nice thing is we put them together, the patients, the doctors, even the healthcare workers, and our supporters. That's the nice thing about this one. So it's really a holistic discussion with a holistic approach when it comes to breast cancer care. Okay, so our theme for this year is designing a better future for the global breast cancer community. And really, it is the honor of I Can Serve to be hosting this event. That's why our speakers for this event are not just Filipinos. Talagang it's a global. We might be, what you can say, focusing on the Southeast Asia, but our speakers are from all over the world, and we are very honored and proud to be able to have them to share their expertise as well. So it's a 3-day event, though hindi naman talaga whole day, half day lang po, but it's it's a full day of talagang various information when it comes to breast cancer and cancer care, not just in the Philippines but in the whole world. You might say na, well, breast cancer, di kahon lang naman yan. We found out also that it's not, wherein when it comes to healthcare kasi talagang iba-iba bawat country, and bawat region, bawat continent, and we can say na kahit papano, when it comes to breast cancer care and everything, medyo napuhuli or medyo behind ang Southeast Asia. Healthcare pa lang po, medyo hirap na. Nakakainggit when it comes to when we compare. But that's why we are together now to see how we can uplift the cancer care in Southeast Asia. So, and we are just thankful that marami ang gustong tumulong sa I Can Serve to put this up. And once again, we are thankful for our sponsors. And yeah, to be able to mount this one free. Okay, we are just very, very thankful for all the blessings also that I Can Serve has been receiving for the past years, for all the support, for all the help. And we hope that you, from the press, from the media, will be able to help us also spread the word. Yun po. So I think that's it for cancer survivors. Okay, myself, my chairman, okay, Kisan Sadran, and of course our founding president, Cara Alikpala, we're all survivors here. I think that's where the fire also comes from, to be able to give back to the community that helped us. Yeah. So yun po. So again, without much further ado, to proceed with our launch of the patient's manual is our very own also from I Can Serve, Casalio Manasan.
If I may say so myself, it's sobrang boses ng breast cancer survivor. So it's not technical. There are technical terms that we've made an effort to define, pero puro kwento. Ang daming kwento. So you'll see how people fix their diet, how people had to dealt with losing their hair, how they dealt with their sex life, lahat talaga. So it's all there. I mean, we have people talking about it. So we made it it's in the final stages na, and it's very nice to read, if I may say so. So it's so nice to read because this was all really labor of love for a lot of our writers who was able to research about various topics. And this has been also gone through by experts, so we're not including fallacies or anything na pulled out of the air. No? So the medical experts have reviewed this for us. Many thanks to them. All of this is pretty much gratis. But I think the best part is this is downloadable for free. Completely free. Okay? Contributed from the heart talaga, as in nagtrabaho talaga, including Giselle over there, my favorite contributors. Okay, there. So, wrote everything, and then I was just a guardian. I just fixed it and took a look at it and put the things together. And then we have a message from Cara, we have a forward from us, and then, yun. So, there are also contacts, especially, if I may say, one of the things that we really emphasize there is the idea of palliative care. Palliative care, hindi lang pardon the graphic language, hindi lang paalis ka na, no? It's not only for you if you're in a terminal stage. Palliative care begins the day you're diagnosed, no? So you can have, and then now, thank God, did you know that it's also Mental Health Month next month? Okay, so which is appropriate because it's also an area of expertise for me because I'm crazy. Or no, I'm seriously. But anyway, so parang when you think about it, that's often bleaked over, the idea of your mental health, because we're too busy taking care of your body. No? Mental health is, thank goodness, I'm not saying I'm glad that there's so many cases, but I'm glad that we're paying attention to them. And then the mental health situation of breast cancer survivors, before, during, and way after, is also important. So we discussed that also. It's a reality. So hindi lang inarte yun, may nangyayari talaga. Something happens when you're dealing with. So we addressed that quite nicely, I think. No? This is Abigail Arenas de Leon, our wonderful. There you go. There she's the tall one there because she used to be a model. Yeah, this cover. The scarf also was designed by a breast cancer survivor, but Abby, if she looks really good, it's because she was a model. And she's married to a supermodel. Yeah, she actually holds the title Supermodel of the World Philippines. Yun. So, she's married to photographer June De Leon who documented it. And she's a very courageous breast cancer survivor. As in, shared her story, shared it with us, and then she graciously posed for this. So you can see her face. Seryoso yan, di yan ate.
Actually, we're doing this. Ito yung pinaka-bottom line. The problem of everyone is access to an accurate and early diagnosis, and cancer prevention, and treatment, and hospice care if you have advanced cancer, or palliative care to manage your pain throughout the journey, or survivorship issues. We just want to perfect that whole continuum of care for any country. It sounds so simple, but it's so hard. There's a whole ecosystem that has to be in place, and we're trying to build all the building blocks around this. Yun lang talaga yung bottom line. So ang outcome is really to share stories about how you've managed, how you've coped, you have creative solutions to fix this, what are they in your country. Also, how can we work as a region? How can we even put out our voice out there as a region? I've attended so many conferences on breast cancer abroad, and I always feel out of place because the issues are so high-tech, we're so left behind. But when this started 6 years, 7 years ago, it started in Vietnam. I was able to relate to the issues that they were talking about, and I could really participate because we have the same culture and everything. So that's why we want to build on this regional coalition. It's like an informal coalition. There will be a segment called parang ASEAN Voices, Louder Together. We're going to get different stakeholders to say how they think they can contribute or what can be discussed. Should we talk to the ASEAN to convince ministers to put some of the asks right there? So, maraming pwedeng gawin. So, in fact, for the ASEAN, ito yung ambag ng mga patients. Parang here's our manual. Maybe moving forward, ang ambag ng Filipino patients to the ASEAN is really sharing information. And it's nuanced for an Asian audience. We don't put stuff there that only the Westerns can really access. So we just really hope we make everyone's ecosystem very healthy and robust and responsive and relevant.
Ma'am, nakita ko dito sa sa press release ninyo that there will be also the government. Ano po yung, after the symposium, ano yung expected natin from, especially from the Philippine government na siguro assistance or pwede nilang magawa for the cancer patients or the survivors po?
Well, in the Southeast Asian region, tayo lang ang may cancer na pinasa noong 2019. So in that sense, we're ahead with a blueprint. We're now doing the roadmap on how to really implement it. It's like a 10-year roadmap. So matagal talaga bago ma-implement. Parang yun naman ang ambag natin to the ASEAN. So many people are asking how we pass the law, what are the elements of the law. So that's a big thing. But for government, I think there's a lot to be done. So they're going to learn from their counterparts in the region as well. So it's really more that sharing talaga. But we're there to learn from them as well. Kasi mga Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, they're so advanced. And sometimes money is not the problem. It's a mindset that, kasi lahat pa rin ang iniisip, pag cancer, nakaka-depress. Pupunta ba ako sa press kanina, nakaka-depress. President, they call it UICC, the Union of International Cancer Control. She's sending a recorded message. Mother siya ng dating mid-childhood leukemia. I forget yung sakit ng anak niya. But she's from Jordan. So we really appreciate her help. And Isabel is from the World Health Organization and IR to talk about the regional status in terms of stats and figures. So very basic data yan. And then the next 6 sessions will be what's the latest in the region, what are they up to. So yeah, so Vietnam talks about, I think it's an app, peer-to-peer counseling. Malaysia talks about measuring needs of patients and measuring happiness. So it's everything that's data-driven, usually anecdotal lang tayo dyan eh. And then Myanmar closing the gap, that's the gap access to treatment. And then Ben Anderson, he heads the Global Breast Cancer Initiative under the World Health. He's going to talk about the pillars in beating breast cancer for the whole world, but focusing on early detection. Nagkataon naman ang Philippines, meron kaming programa ng tawag Ating Dibdibin or Hand on Heart, yon. So we have partners, mga 5 cities. If you're a member or a resident of that community, swerte ka kasi may breast cancer control program yon. And Taguig is one of them. Yeah, so kung magkasakit ka doon, swerte, halos sagot nila lahat because of our program. And it's enshrined in a local ordinance, so permanente na yan kahit sinong mayor. So Taguig is one of the best showcases for that. Muntinlupa and Marikina. We're also partners with Tagum City and Tagatun ka?
Kalapit na ma'am, Davao.
Davao, okay. We have projects in Davao. Ang galing ng Tagum. Ibang another time yung story nila, pero ang galing. So it's called Ating Dibdibin. So we're doing what national government should be doing. So while they're not doing it, unahan na lang namin. So it's a unique project that Ben Anderson said, please bring it in. It's a good, best practice. And then it's something similar, but they focus on patient referral ecosystem. These are our friends from Indonesia. And then 320 to 520, it may not mean much to us, more ordinary mortals, but among oncologists, these are like the rock star oncologists talaga from ASCO, American Society of Clinical Oncology. So they're going to introduce the new breakthroughs and how it can apply to our setting, the local to middle-income countries. So since we have a lot of doctor topics, and we know we're not naman a doctor group, and baka wala kaming gravitas. So when we do medical topics, we always get the latest. So in the next few weeks after ours, there will be other conferences by oncology groups, pero mauuna kami mag-release ng bagong studies.
I just wanted, before we show you the breakdown, that usually when you attend conferences, there's like a space for, or track, nagsaseparate yung patients, and then patient advocates, and then the medical, those in the medical community attend something else. And since we're breast cancer survivors and we know what it is that we want, what information we want to extract also, we wanted to be able to have survivors themselves attend in medical track also. Pero ayaw na naman namin ma-nosebleed, di ba? So we've asked them to try to make it also relatable to us so that everybody has information to everything, not parang segmenting it or segregating the information. So in day 2, we'll be separating into 3 tracks. You're asking about the breakout sessions, ganun siya. So we'll be going to 3. So the first one will be choosing between surgical and non-surgical treatment approaches to address locally advanced breast cancer. There's a new trend wherein some people choose to do chemotherapy before surgery or surgery before chemotherapy, so we'll be presenting that. The other one is, of course, the all-important issue of financial needs, which is really a very pressing need, so we'll be discussing that also.
Another one is, the third one will be Christine Dowitz will be talking about how to deal with side effects. So what happens is during chemotherapy, people undergo nausea and all of that, and then they cannot do, it's very scheduled kasi kunwari you have to attend 6 chemotherapies. Many times people choose not to proceed or not to go within their schedule because of side effects. So what she does is she tries to help you resolve it within 48 hours kasi that's very, very key. So she'll be teaching a very systematic, targeted approach to how to handle your, so that you don't delay further treatment. Okay, so the next one, okay Cara, can you help me here? This is one of the nosebleed ones we were talking about. Okay.
Basta it's about radiation. I don't know if you're familiar with radiation. It's, ano, parang nag-tune out na kayo, di ba? Huwag na lang, huwag na lang. Oo. Basta radiation, para siyang ano, it's targeted, parang may x-ray, laser beams na para to kill the source, no, that area. So that's high-end. I don't want to talk about it. Even the power of the measured marker, nako, medyo high-tech rin yan. Advanced breast cancer, courage and composure. Ayan, Krisa.
One of the biggest issues is really mental health and your mindset and how you handle your treatment. So this is we want to really talk about it. And this will be for, particularly for those in stage 4 or in advanced stage of breast cancer, how they handle it, how they can get through it, what helps them hang on, and what helps them keep a positive mindset. So for the next sessions, we have personalized medicine being the standard, sorry. Oh yeah, okay, so in Courage and Composure, Bangyema Banta is one of our Dear I Can Serve sisters. She's been with us for a very long time, and she'll be speaking, alongside her husband, because when you talk about cancer and cancer, your journey, it's always with somebody else. There's always the carer, and we don't want to discount the importance of the carer. In fact, a lot of the topics we're also addressing the support system of each survivor. Patient power, that's me, my name, that's my son's name also. And so what we're doing is we're looking for small or big projects that people did to address the need for the cancer space. Like in our case, I Can Serve wasn't able to go down to the barangays in October during the pandemic, but we still wanted the women to not miss their appointments, to be mindful of their own breast health. So we created a kit wherein they see beads, and the beads are the different sizes of the lump if you don't have yourself checked. And we converted it into a bag, like a bag charm. So it would be like a daily reminder. And when we couldn't leave our homes during the pandemic, we sent it to their homes, and many local governments got purchased from us and sent it to their own constituents. So it came with a kit with basic information about breast cancer also. My son was laughing at how analog his mom was when we were doing this. So while I was doing it, he was simultaneously doing a digital version of it. So it's now available as an app and on site. Samira Daswani created she was in the healthcare business in California, and she knows the feeling of being a patient wherein when you get your doctor, you have all these questions, 100 questions you ask your doctor, and then when you meet your doctor, you ask mga 1 na lang. Kasi you're so kabado and then that. So she created a planner na may checklist with all the questions you want to ask before that. Si Sam Jackman is with Wear Boost. She turned the whole concept of wearing a breast prosthesis on its reverse. Her breast prosthesis is made of silicone. She produced it under a grant, and it does not look like a breast, and it does not look like skin. It comes multicolored. She changes it. It's red during Chinese New Year. It's green in Christmas. It's super interesting. Her backstory is that her mother had breast cancer, and her mother would leave the prosthesis on the bedside. and she hated seeing it. So she wanted it to be something that looked good in their house. And she went on and created it. So that's one. And then how food you can eat influence cancer. Every time we have conferences and seminars, this always gets asked. What can I do? How should I change my diet? Is there a cancer-causing food? Is there a food that, superfood to avoid cancer? So we're going to try to address all of that. Okay, we have PR genius Marlon Rivera, who will teach us to use social media to promote our causes, to be able to reach out to larger communities. And then I think they mentioned earlier that palliative care isn't anymore the old notion that palliative is for end stage. So palliative begins on day one. So we'll be addressing that. And finally, how to future-proof your organization. I think the pandemic taught all of us that we need to speed up and learn how to become future fit. So we have a speaker, Pat Garcia Gonzalez. She started the Max Foundation in memory of her stepson 25 years ago. So to teach us how to last 25 and another 25 and further. Thank you.
Taylor, she's the founder of SEABCS, and we're happy that she'll be here to be able to speak on the third day. And then we also have new and emerging data on surgical management. Again, kind of technical here. Okay. And then the next we have wait, there's more. Yeah. Post-treatment breast health. So what happens after? Yeah, and what how to go along with checkups after you've had your treatment, ganyan, because iba-iba na rin, even for us when we talk among us cancer survivors, they say na, oh, you're kinda late stage, say stage 3, so you should have it every quarter, and then there are those naman na, hindi, every 6 months na lang, and then even for me, up to this point na, I survived na after 10 years, so I'm like yearly, but then it came back on the 12th year, so balik ako ng biannual, so those things. Yeah, we'll try to address those questions there. And then finally, there's many ways to be an advocate. And then, here, yan na, okay. We have advanced technologies and artificial intelligence in healthcare. Okay. Louder together, calling all Asian voices. Yan yung sinasabi niyo kanina. And then, knowledge into action, national cancer control plans. So, yeah, that's basically it. And then, stories and voices of hope to wrap up everything. So that's it. Quite a gamut of topics for the next 3 days, yes?